FBI had done their investigation in NASCAR, okay? You know, the whole NASCAR noose incident with Bubba Wallace, the only African-American NASCAR driver in the sport. Ultimately, was a big controversy or conflict that happened a couple of days ago with the fact that it was a noose found in Bubba Wallace's garage locker, which is very rare because no one has access to that. Only a few certain amount of people gets access to that garage area. Not even the drivers get access to that driver's area. And the fact that they was able to find, not Bubba Wallace, but one of his crew members was able to find a noose hanging in the garage door or garage area, raised some eyebrow. They brought it to NASCAR, authorities, and they dealt with it. Ultimately, FBI came in and ultimately said they're gonna have a thorough investigation to dealing with if this was a hate crime towards Bubba Wallace. And ultimately, the next day, they had found out there was no crime. There's no crime. They said that the noose been there since last year, of 2019. So it was nothing. It was blown out of proportion. Now that's where I get it. I see it. I raised some type of awareness, and it just made it iffy, made it fishy. It made me just wonder, did the FBI really do a thorough investigation, or did they just simply didn't really care about the situation, or didn't give it its full attention that it was supposed to get? Okay, because if you get one day to investigate something that has cameras in the garage area, in every single garage area, and you come back and say there's no hate crime, you found nothing, that's complete BS. I don't believe it. Okay, somebody put that noose there. I believe it. Bubba believes it. It wasn't just there, accidentally. And I'll tell you how, because the day before when they had allowed, somewhat 5,000 fans insert, the track, there was a plane flying above the the NASCAR track with, it said defund NASCAR, with the Confederate flag flying behind it. So that raises eyebrows here, because if you're gonna have that flying one day and then the next day have a noose in the only African American's locker, that means this was planned. This was targeted for this one man, one individual. And the fact that the FBI comes back one day later and said they found nothing, no crime was committed, nothing was there. The fact that they said that noose had been there the year previously, of the fall of 2019. Well, let me just ask you this question: how does something that was been there since 2019 haven't been removed from a garage stadium or a location that's said to be fully renovated with over $50 million of renovation towards that whole track arena? I'm sorry if my lingo for the NASCAR guys isn't up to par, but you gotta work with me. But how is it that a place, a building, or an arena or stadium that's fully renovated for $50 million doesn't get rid of a noose that was there last year? I mean, these are just facts that was given to me, and I'm just giving it back to the fact that you can't have a one-day investigation or a 24, 36-hour investigation and come back and say there was no crime committed. Somebody put that noose there. Somebody was flying that plane the day before, and I feel like those two guys are in connections to this crime. I think the FBI did not do a thorough job. They actually did a poor job, and I'm not surprised by the FBI in handling this case. You look at NASCAR, is predominantly white sport. You got one individual who's African American who's solely the target of this hate crime, and I feel like they didn't care. They didn't care enough to really give a full, thorough investigation, because I promise you this: if it was, the roles were reversed, the FBI wouldn't have stopped until they found a suspect or someone to connect to this crime. It just doesn't make no sense. You have almost no one can get into the access of the garage, but somehow there was a noose there since fall 2019. So no one decides to move that noose. And how in the hell is it the noose is only in the African Americans garage? Somebody explain something to me, because this ain't adding up.